Hi everyone, Gordon from Up North Piker here. The time has come to tackle the fairings. When you're taking your fairing off, you'll come across these things holding the fairing to the frame or holding bits of the fairing together. And you might be confused how to get these off. If you look, they have a slot. So it's solid round here and then they'll have a slot opposite sides of the device. Some will only have one, this has two, and all you do is stick a screwdriver in, turn it, and then pull that out as far as it'll go. Then you'll find this will just pop straight out of the hole. This has these little knobbly bits that can squeeze together, so when you pull it out they'll just compress and come out the hole. When you put it back in, you push that in, you push this bit home and it opens and spreads out these knobbly bits that hold it fast in its place. Right, got the fairings off. Also had to take the clock off on the front and the surrounding area, because when I spray this I only want to have to mask the smallest amount. It would be very difficult to mask all this bit off, so it's easier to take it off. I could strip all this front off, but I really don't fancy doing that. There's a lot of screws I think to get that front off. And that's just the first coat of primer. I'm going to do another coat like that. There's still this little bit here that needs to fill, but the rest looks absolutely fine. Happy with that. Put the first coat of colour on this nose cone as well. Actually there's two coats on there and that's come out quite nice. Hopefully it's the same colour as the rest of the bike. So for this I'm not happy with it. I'm going to try and take the whole nose off and spray the whole nose, because I don't think that's going to match. So the colour didn't match unfortunately, so nose cone has been removed and primed, ready for some base coat. Unfortunately got none left, so I've had to order some more. So that's the first coat of blue paint on the nose cone. I'll have to put the name of where I'm getting this from eBay, but that was a next day delivery. It was fantastic, and it's just so close a match to the original. Unfortunately it's not a perfect match. So I've cleaned up this fairing as best as I can, inside and out, and prepping it now to sand it. That's the fairing sanded, wiped down with alcohol, and we're going to give it its first very light coat of primer. Especially interested in how this crack covers up. There's the primer on. Quite pleased with that one. The other one was a bit of a disaster because you could still see the crack, so I've had to put some very fine filler in it. But this one's looking good. So leave that overnight, give it a very light sanding, a wash down, and then that's ready for top coat. Next job, I could still see the crack on this fairing, and it's knocked me back a day because that one's ready for top coat. This one I had to fill across that crack, and I tried a number of things and ended up good old epoxy glue. That takes 24 hours to cure, so that's ready to be sanded down. So that's sanded back now, and that's the little offending crack. I still don't think it's filled even after all that. I can just feel it with my fingernail, so I'm hoping the paint will fill it, because I've had 2 attempts at that and neither are successful. So I'm going to just give this another wipe with alcohol and then give that a coat of primer. Pleased to say there's no sign of the crack, so that filler actually worked, which is good. So a couple more coats of primer and then that'll be ready tomorrow for top coat. Imagine how it looks when your wife comes in and she sees you doing this. Trick me can. So I'm going for the two-tone colour scheme with the blue along the top of the fairing. So I've masked all that off on both of these and give them their first coat. That will take 2 or 3 coats to get that where it needs to be. What's funny is that looks much more like the colour of the bike than it does on the nose cone. Bizarre. Must just be, well, it's the same primer. I suppose this is painted on top of white, which might make the difference. So a few tiny little bits I'll have to try and tidy up later, but if I can't, I'm not bothered. But that's same there, there's a little bit of untidiness on that bit. That's the fairings done. Just need clear coating, which will bring them up gloss and shiny. Not bad for a rattle can. This is why when you're painting you need one of these. This is all in the air, and it's the fine paint particles that have dried, because there's no thinners on them, that have been hanging in the air and they've just deposited down and everything. You'd be breathing that in if you didn't use a mask. So that is the finished bike. I'm going to do that nose cone again, because I don't know if you can see but the colour between these two blues is different. It's the same tin of paint. The only difference is this was on a white background, this was on grey primer. So going to do that again. Means I have to order the decals and everything, probably, because I want to take this blue line across to there actually, but we'll see. I might live with it like that. Those decals really good, like them, and that's it. Nice smooth paint. Let's say the nose cone, need to redo him, but apart from that I'm happy with the result. The crack is completely gone, can't be seen. So yeah, I'll put the place I got the decals from in the link. I know I should have moved that further across, but these are quite difficult to do. I did film how I did it, but of course, as is the case with GoPros, it decided not to film it properly. But I realise now that should have been a little bit further across there, and that would have made possibly that angle a bit closer to there, but never mind. I'm happy with that. It certainly looks better than it did. So that's a job done. If you like this kind of stuff, why not hit the subscribe button? But until then, this is Gordon from Up North Biker, signing out. Keep safe and keep riding.